Hello students, today we'll start with prokaryotic cells and before starting this video I would recommend you to watch the previous video. The link is given in the description. Prokaryotes are generally smaller and multiply more rapidly than the eukaryotic cells. They include bacteria, mycoplasma and PPLO, also blue-green algae. This is what looks like under the microscope of blue-green algae. Bacteria is divided into 4 types based on its shape. First is Coccus, Bacillus, Vibrio and Spirillum. Coccus is somewhat spherical in shape. Bacillus is rod-like shape. Vibrio is comma shape as you can see in the images, and Spirillum whereas is a spiral in shape. Some of the important points I have noted down. I want you to take a copy and pen and please write the important notes. All prokaryotes have a cell wall surrounding the cell membrane except in mycoplasma. The fluid matrix filling the cell is the cytoplasm, where all the main cellular activities occur, as I have said you previously. There is no well-defined nucleus. That is, the genetic material is basically naked, not enveloped by a nuclear membrane. Many bacteria have a small circular DNA outside the genomic DNA called plasmids. Plasmids confirm resistance to antibiotics to such bacteria. So one of the important functions of plasmids is to provide resistance against the antibiotics for this bacteria. Plasmids, in higher classes you will study that plasmids DNA is used to monitor bacterial transformation with foreign DNA. No organelles are found in prokaryotic cells except ribosome. So you must remember that ribosomes are present in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms. Prokaryotic organisms have a specialized differentiated form of cell membrane called mesosome. It is one of the most important characteristics of prokaryotes. They are essentially enfoldings of cell membrane. So the cell membrane is enfolded towards the inner side and these are called the mesosome. If you want, you can pause the video and write down the points. Now we will study about the eukaryotic cells. There are the presence of membrane-bound organelles, a well-developed nucleus with the nuclear membrane and the cytoplasm. All eukaryotic cells are not identical. Plants and animal cells are different as the former possesses cell walls, plastids and a large central vacuole which are absent in animal cells. You must remember that animal cell consists vacuoles but they are smaller in size as compared to plant cells. On the other hand, animal cells have centrioles which are absent in almost all plant cells. So this is a diagrammatic representation of a plant cell. As you can see, it occupies the large central vacuole. It occupies approximately 90% of the cell space, whereas the other organelles like smooth endoplasmic reticulum or the Golgi bodies are at the periphery of the cell. Next, you can see the diagrammatic representation of a animal cell. Here you can see the size of the vacuoles are comparatively smaller, but it consists another important organelle, that is the centrioles, which are generally absent in all plants. Prokaryotic organisms include Protista. They are the unicellular eukaryotes, plants and also animals. So next topic will proceed to cell envelope and its modification. Most prokaryotic cells, particularly the bacterial cells, have a chemically complex cell envelope. The cell envelope consists of a tightly bound 3-layered structure. The first one, the outermost one, is the glycocalyx, followed by the cell wall and then the plasma membrane. So this is what it looks like. You can relate with the diagram. As you can relate here, the outermost layer, the glycocalyx, then the cell wall and then the plasma membrane. Also you can see here the mesosome and ribosomes and also plastids. Here also you can see a structure called flagella. It helps for the movement of the bacteria. Although each layer of the envelope performs distinct function, they act together as a single protective unit for the bacteria. Bacteria can be further classified on the basis of differences in the cell envelopes and the manner in which they respond to the staining procedure developed by a scientist called Gram. The gram-positive bacteria are those that take up the Gram stain, whereas the gram-negative bacteria are those that do not take up the Gram stain. Glycocalyx differs in composition and thickness among different bacteria. It could be a loose sheet called the slime layer in some, while in others it may be thick and tough called the capsule. So here is a table drawn for you showing the differences between capsule versus slime layer. Capsule is a glycocalyx layer consisting of firmly associated polysaccharide molecules with the cell wall, whereas slime layer is a glycocalyx layer that consists of loosely associated glycoprotein molecules composed of polysaccharides, whereas slime layer is composed of exopolysaccharides, glycoproteins and glycolipids. So next, the capsules are thicker than the slime layer, whereas the slime layer consists of a thin glycocalyx layer. The capsule is tightly bound to the cell wall and slime layer is loosely bound to the cell wall. Capsules are well organized layered and difficult to be washed off, whereas slime layers are unorganized layer and can easily be washed off. The last point for the capsule is that it acts as a virulence factor that helps to evade phagocytosis. Virulence factors means these are the substances produced by viruses or bacteria. Evade means to avoid phagocytosis. Phagocytosis often happens when the cell is trying to destroy something like a virus or an infected cell and is often used by immune system cells of our body. So next we'll talk about a special membrane structure of the prokaryotes is the mesosome. The mesosome is essentially enfoldings of cell membrane, as I have told you before, which is formed by the extensions of plasma membrane into the cell. These extensions are in the form of vesicles, tubules and lamellae, as you can see here. Some of the helpful features of mesosome are they help in the cell wall formation, DNA replication, and distribution to daughter cells. They also help in respiration, secretion process, and to increase the surface area of the plasma membrane and also to increase the surface area for the enzymatic content. The bacterial cells may be motile or non-motile. If motile, they have thin filamentous extensions from their cell wall called the flagella. Bacteria show a range in the number and arrangement of flagella. Bacterial flagella is composed of three parts. As you can see here, the filament, hook, and the basal body. You don't need so much now, but I just showed you for a diagrammatic imagination for your better understanding. So look at it once again, the filament, hook and the basal body. Besides flagella, pili and fimbriae are also surface structures of the bacteria but do not play a role in motility. The pili are elongated tubular structures made of special protein, whereas the fimbriae are small bristle-like fibers sprouting out of the cell. In some bacteria, they are known to help to attach the bacteria to rocks, in steams, and also to host tissues. So the important point to remember is that flagella helps in motility, whereas pili and fimbriae does not involve in any kind of movement of the bacteria. With this, I would like to end today's session, today's lecture. And one thing I would like to also say you that whatever book you study, but first preference should be your NCERT. The NCERT should be at your fingertips. So thank you and have a good day.